Okay, let's take a look at what happens when our geometry is triangles. We'll go to alternating triangles and I expect to see some kind of weird stuff going on. Maybe helpful if I turn this on here. Let's go back down to just one loop iteration here. And let's just turn off some of our randomizations just so that we can kind of see what's going on. So it's not super obvious here because I think our geometry is a little bit cleaner. But if we grab, I'm just going to grab any one of these. Let's say grid number 1 or just grid. Let's see what happens here. That's not too bad. I wonder if I still have a torus or something. Yeah, let's just feed a torus in here and see what happens. All right, so we get some weird stuff here with a torus. And what happens is the coordinate space gets really weird because we have a triangle. So we're just going to go ahead and fix that really quickly here. And all we're going to do is essentially just grab one point and just do a point bevel on there to turn a triangle into a quad. So we will put down a poly bevel. And I'm going to make sure that that says points. And I just want point number 0. I'm going to give this a very, very, very small number. And let's count. We got 3 points here. Well, we got 3 points. And let's check what we're doing here. There we go, 4 points. There we go. And now we see that it actually is coming to a point here correctly. Let's see how low we can go until this breaks. Okay, so that's too low. Right about here. It seems like there's some kind of automatic fusing going on somewhere, but it doesn't seem to be actually working. But anyway, that's okay. So we need to make sure that this only happens if this actually is a triangle that's coming in here. So I'm going to press tab and put down a switch. And we will just wire our first input right into there, our second input into here, and then just wire the switch in just like that. And now we want to switch if this, the number of points here is 3. So what we will do is say if parenthesis n points, parenthesis, and then we'll // for each underscore begin 2. And parenthesis, oops, and then of course equals, double equal 3. Then we want input number 1. If it's false, we want input 0, and then close that statement there. And now let's go ahead and wire back up where we were before. Okay, just to test that everything's looking okay, what I'm going to do is enable a few more objects. And again, to make it a little faster, I'm just going to turn on manual here. And let's just make this, I think we had 6 of them. So I'm just going to go back and just copy and paste where we were before. Turn it back on to auto. Then I'm just going to go back to our place on prim here and just play around with some randomness, kind of see what happens here. Cool, seems to be working just fine and giving us some nice, interesting results here. Just looking to see if there's any weird or funky geo going on. And so far everything seems to be looking just fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and save again where we're at. Saving the node type. Okay, very good. And let's see if there was any other thing that I wanted to do here before we start propagating our asset. I think there might be one other thing. I'm gonna have to check my notes. Yeah, I think we'll probably end up now starting to build the interface, but I did want to show you really quickly before we go on and do that. Part of why we've done it this way, which is really incredibly interesting here, is that we don't have to work just on a flat grid. If we have anything, any surface now, this is really interesting. I'm going to just turn our roughness down, frequency down here, turn the height up a bit. So you can see that we can take any model that we have coming in and we automatically start adding all this incredibly crazy level of complexity to the surface of that model. You know, and you can use all kinds of tricks here that you want if you want to refine stuff or grab random faces and split them or do other kinds of things with that. You can see how this works here. So super cool, really interesting way of adding some details. I'm going to save the file and then, yeah, we're going to come back and we're going to build the interface out for this. And then I'll show you one other little trick here to add a second level of detail on top of this. So I'll see you in a little bit.